Actor-director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion.
This whole thing has been very ugly and very public. Lively's legal team responding quickly and pretty pointedly to this lawsuit, saying this is Baldoni's way of, quote, trying to shift the narrative, further attacking her after she complained about sexual harassment on the set.
$400 million. That's how much Justin Baldoni is seeking in his shocking lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, the Hollywood power couple who have become the envy of the world for their wit and charm, and their business ventures are now at the center of one of the most explosive legal battles in recent memory. But this isn't just another celebrity spat. It's a $400 million claim that could upend the business of Hollywood. The allegations, bad enough to spark admiration to animosity and partnerships to courtroom showdowns. But how did we get here? So what could be enough to make Justin Baldoni, star of the heartwarming work in Clouds, Jane the Virgin, and more, sue someone like this to the tune of $500,000? But why are Blake and Ryan, two of the golden couples of the entertainment world, getting hit with this massive claim? In this video, we'll peel back every twist and turn of this headline-grabbing case, dig into the backstory between these celebrities, and explain what could happen legally and financially. Just grab a seat, because this is the kind of Hollywood drama even the best screenwriters could not have dreamt up. What's the real story behind that $400 million lawsuit? That's the question people everywhere are asking. And while the details will be fleshed out, here's what we know so far. Justin Baldoni has gone in on a massive lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for millions in financial damages after a deal goes bad. Neither party has spoken publicly about the particulars, but leaked reports and inside accounts say it hinges on intellectual property and contractual obligations. Entertainment lawyer Rachel Steinberg said that in cases like these, there are often issues like breach of contract, misappropriation of ideas, or even defamation tied to business ventures. So maybe Baldoni's creative ideas or projects were used without proper credit? Or maybe this is a fallout of a failed collaboration which went awry. After all, Blake and Ryan are no rookies to a business world. Ryan's aviation gin made the household name, selling reportedly for $610 million. And Blake's Betty Buzz sparkling mixers are making big waves in the beverage world. However, on the other side, Baldoni has also done impactful projects like his production company, Wayfarer Studios. Could their entrepreneurial paths have crossed differently for this legal battle? And then there's the dollar amount, $400 million. Why such a massive claim? And some that may not be just tangible losses, but also damages to reputation, future earnings, and punitive charges when somebody is found guilty of wrongdoing. The kicker here, though, is that Baldoni's legal team is apparently confident in their case. They say they have documents and evidence to match their allegations. This could end up being one of Hollywood's most expensive lawsuits ever if true. Is this lawsuit just another high-profile clash in the business world of Hollywood's cutthroat world, or can it hold water? The plot thickens. Let's keep going. We have to rewind a little bit and dive into the history between Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds. Were they collaborators or competitors or something in between? As a storyteller with heart, Justin Baldoni has built a reputation for himself. Wayfarer Studios is his production company that produces projects that inspire and uplift. But Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have built a career making Hollywood grease money and brandishing their own businesses successfully. At first glance, they look like they'd be a dream team. So, what went wrong? Insiders say the three may have started out working together on a business idea, merging Baldoni's emotionally driven creative vision with Ryan and Blake's branding sensibility. It's said the project involved a media or lifestyle venture that combined storytelling with consumer products. That, however, is where things get hazy. Sources close to the situation say that the deal fell apart over disagreements on creative control and revenue sharing. It was alleged that one of Baldoni's original ideas was used without proper credit or compensation, and perhaps intellectual property was being used. We mustn't neglect Ryan and Blake are known as marketing geniuses, with Ryan's witty ad campaigns and Blake's marketing genius with his creative eye for branding. However, had their entrepreneurial bent crossed a line? Certainly, Baldoni's team thinks so. In fact, a former associate of Baldoni tells Variety, Justin is very much committed to defending his work. He's not afraid to fight for what's right, if he feels that someone has taken advantage of his ideas. Another twist, there are rumors that Baldoni and the Reynolds-Lively duo were at odds way before this lawsuit. Some say that Baldoni's rising star in Hollywood clashed with Ryan and Blake's determination to dominate the business world. This isn't just about the money, it's about the power dynamics in Hollywood, reputations on the line, and and it's going to have ripple effects throughout multiple industries. But what is this $400 million exactly? The financial implications, of course. For Justin Baldoni, $900K probably is the amount he thinks he's owed, not just for what he might have lost from the project that's under dispute, but from what he's lost in terms of reputation and career. A lawsuit this big suggests Baldoni is claiming a big harm, both tangible and intangible. Even for a couple with a net worth reportedly well over $300 million, $400 million is a big number for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. This case could really throw a stain on their finances and brand credibility if they lose. But we shouldn't underestimate the power of their image. Ryan and Blake have built a reputation as relatable, yet aspirational Hollywood figures. This is going to tarnish that. Imagine how that would apply to the industry. Isn't Baldoni, Reynolds, and Lively just business moguls who happen to be actors? But Ryan's maximum effort production company and Blake's growing power in the lifestyle business have established a standard for how celebrities can grow their brands. But a publicized courtroom battle could scare potential collaborators away and send tremors through Hollywood's entrepreneurial ecosystem. But here's the real kicker. It's not a case this high profile that stays contained. It's almost a sure thing that major lawsuits like this attract other names into the spotlight. Would extra collaborators, brands, or investors even get dragged into the drama? Will that spark further investigations or countersuit? When lawsuits this size go public, it can open Pandora's box, one entertainment analyst told The Hollywood Reporter. If everyone involved starts scrambling to protect their image, the case suddenly spirals into something much bigger. Finally, the cultural stakes. This isn't about three celebrity clients in a courtroom. It's about the stories we tell ourselves about ambition, creativity, and integrity. Is Baldoni fighting Hollywood's power couple David versus Goliath? Is this a more murky tale with both sides bearing responsibility? The $400 million isn't just a number. It's a symbol of everything this case represents, and money, and power, and creativity, and the risk that all of those worlds will come crashing down. This story isn't over by any means. In the next section, we'll look at the evidence, the arguments, and what comes next. Evidence rules when it comes to lawsuits, but the court filings are sealed, and some key details have leaked, providing a glimpse into what each side might be able to throw at the table. Let's break it down. But Baldoni's legal team is said to have concrete evidence to support its allegations. This includes 1. Original deal documentation, emails, contracts, or memos, which show outline of the alleged collaboration. It could be a game changer if these documents show Baldoni was entitled to credit or compensation. 2nd, intellectual property misuse proof. Baldoni says he has proof that one of his original concepts, possibly linked to storytelling or a lifestyle product, was used without authorization. 3rd, financial impact. Baldoni's lawyers will have to prove he lost money in order to justify the $400 million. The losses could be the lost revenue, the tarnished opportunities, or damage to his reputation in industry. Justin is meticulous. An unnamed source close to Baldoni told Deadline he would not bring a lawsuit of this magnitude unless he was certain of his case. But Lively and Reynolds are ready for a strong defense. Here's what they're likely to argue: no breach of contract. Or their legal team may say that no agreement was ever formally agreed or that the terms were met. Creative independence. They might tell you that it's impossible for Baldoni's intellectual property to have been infringed by the ideas at issue, whether independently developed or otherwise. Questioning damages. Their lawyers will challenge the $400 million figure, but they'll probably say that Baldoni's claim is overblown and does not represent real losses. If Ryan and Blake can show that they acted within the bounds of the law, this case could swing very heavily in their favor, said one entertainment lawyer. But managing public perception might be harder. The case is fascinating. The stakes are big and the possible outcomes are vast. If Justin Baldoni's evidence holds up in court, then Hollywood may follow a new precedent for how intellectual property disputes are settled. A Baldoni victory would not only be a payday, but also a victory for accountability. Even for Hollywood's elite, it could encourage other creatives to raise the same complaints, shuffling up an industry that is frequently disparaged for being too murky in its practices. But if Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are able to fight their way out of prison, they could come out of it as untouchable icons in the worlds of entertainment and business. If they won, their brand and their financial standing would be protected, and Baldoni's claims challenged, possibly in a way that calls him overreaching or opportunistic. But even in victory, such lawsuits can be ugly, so much so that their reputation might suffer. Beyond being a personal dispute, this lawsuit is also about Hollywood. It's a sign of the glitz and glamour, but it's also a sign of the power struggles that go on behind the scenes, between creative ideas and business ambitions. The case raises questions about how credit and compensation are negotiated in an industry where deals are so often struck behind closed doors, and where the fine line between collaboration and exploitation is so fine. If the efforts in court reveal underlying problems, they could lead to wider talks ethics, and watershed decisions on creative ownership and stark transparency in business transactions. There is also a possibility of such repercussions for future collaborations. If people can see in Baldoni the champion of justice, it would bolster his reputation as a man who loves to make heartfelt projects and has an entrepreneurial spirit. Lively and Reynolds, however, could be called out by fans and collaborators alike, depending on how the evidence plays out conversely. But this is more than a legal dispute between Justin Baldoni and Hollywood's power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. It's a story of ambition, creativity, power played out in public. And the longer it takes for this courtroom drama to play out, the more questions we're left with that extend beyond this case. In a collaborative industry, who really owns creative ideas? How much should you go to defend your reputation and work? And what does justice look like in the Hollywood high-stakes world? We're all just waiting, watching, and wondering what the next twist in this story will be. What will happen if we scrutinize Will Baldoni's claims? Or will Lively and Reynolds survive intact? Lively and Reynolds victorious? Only time, and possibly a breathtaking courtroom spectacle, will reveal. And who knows? Hollywood always delivers drama, on screen or off until then. And this, it's already starting to look like a blockbuster of its own.